Hey, welcome back. And happy birthday, America. And thank you for joining me. We are going to celebrate all year long. I want to start off with our founding father, George Washington. And we're going to talk about him and a beautiful vision he had with Our Lady and a prophecy. And I'm going to put that in the description, but I want you to hear his beautiful Thanksgiving prayer. And we're going to have some wonderful items. We're going to have comedy and all, of course. And we're going to have birthdays. It's a birthday celebration for America and all our loved ones born in July, and some of us are having half birthdays, Christmas in July. We're going to have such fun. I'd like to read to you Proclamation by George Washington. And here it is. By the President of the United States of America, a proclamation. Whereas it is the duty of all nations to acknowledge the providence of Almighty God, to obey His will, to be grateful for His benefits, and humbly to implore His protection and favor. And whereas both Houses of Congress have by their joint committee requested me to recommend to the people of the United States a day of public thanksgiving and prayer to be observed by acknowledging with grateful hearts the many signal favors of Almighty God, especially by affording them an opportunity peaceably to establish a form of government for their safety and happiness. Now, therefore, I do recommend and assign Thursday, the 26th day of November, next to be devoted by the people of these states to the service of that great and glorious being, who is beneficent author of all the good that was, that is, or that will be, that we may then all unite in rendering unto him our sincere and humble thanks for his kind care and protection of the people of this country previous to their becoming a nation, for the signal and manifold mercies and the favorable interpositions of his providence, which we experienced in the course and conclusion of the late war, great degree of tranquility, union, and plenty, which we have since enjoyed. For the peaceable and rational manner in which we have been enabled to establish constitutions of government for our safety and happiness, and particularly the national one now lately instituted, the civil and religious liberty with which we are blessed, and the means we have of acquiring and diffusing useful knowledge, and in general, for all the great and various favors which he hath been pleased to confer upon us. And also that we may then unite in most humbly offering our prayers and supplications to the great Lord and ruler of nations, and beseech him to pardon our national and other transgressions, to enable us all, whether in public or private stations, to perform our several and relative duties properly and punctually, render our national government a blessing to all the people, by constantly being a government of wise, just, and constitutional laws, discreetly and faithfully executed and obeyed, to protect and guide all sovereigns and nations, especially such as have shown kindness unto us, and to bless the knowledge and practice of true religion, and to bless them with good government, peace, and concord, to promote the knowledge and practice of true religion and virtue, and the increase of science among them and us, and generally to grant unto all mankind such a degree of temporal prosperity as he alone knows to be best. Given under my hand at the city of New York, the 3rd day of October, in the year of our Lord 1789. Signed, George Washington. So yes, America the Beautiful, just like that song. And I'd like to actually share those lyrics with you too, because we are called to be good stewards of this land and keep it beautiful and be beautiful, support and have real patriotism for our nation forward in all our constitutional rights and blessings. And I'm going to read some of those to you. But I just want to share that song with you, America the Beautiful. It's a poem written by Catherine Lee Bates, inspired by a trip to Pikes Peak in 1893. And it first appeared in print on July 4th, 1895, in the Congressionalist, a weekly journal. America the Beautiful. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. O beautiful for pilgrim feet, whose stern impassioned stress a thoroughfare for freedom beat across the wilderness. America, America, God mend thy every flaw, confirm thy soul in self-control, thy liberty in law. O beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country love, and mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy gold refine, till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. O beautiful for patriot dream that sees beyond the years, thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. O beautiful for halcyon skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the enameled plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, till souls wax fair as earth and air, and music-hearted sea. O beautiful for pilgrim feet, whose stern impassioned stress a thoroughfare for freedom beat across the wilderness. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, till paths be wrought through wilds of thought by pilgrim's foot and knee. O beautiful for glory tale of liberating strife, when once and twice for man's avail men lavished precious life. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, till selfish gain no longer strain the banner of the free. O beautiful for patriot dream that sees beyond the years, thine alabaster cities gleam undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, till nobler men keep once again thy whiter jubilee. Amen. It sounds like a prayer, doesn't it? Isn't that beautiful? And I learned that version by Ray Charles, and I'm going to put that link in the description. He does such a beautiful job, and he sings it. And I had this experience once with Ray Charles, quite the American, you know, and working down on the tech crew with Florida Atlantic University, setting up the lighting and sound for different bands and performances. And Ray Charles came. And that evening I was security, and I was way over in the corner in mezzanine. And he finished up a song, and I just thought, everybody was applauding, but I'm gonna belt out with my voice, woohoo, you know, and what did he do? He turned his head right up and looked at me. I know it. So he was just smiled at me, you know, because he could hear exactly where that was coming from. It was one single voice, and it was such a delight to have him at the university. All right, we're going to move on. I want to share with you our beautiful Constitution. I want to read a little bit for you. The beginning of the Declaration of Independence. In Congress, July 4th, 1776. The unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal stations to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles, and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence, indeed, will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. And I'm going to stop right there. And you can read the rest of it. And I encourage everyone to get a hold of the Declaration of Independence, get a hold of the Bill of Rights, and read them, and find out and learn again, perhaps, what our nation was founded on, the beauty of the laws that have been instilled, and the goodness that they provide us. And so let's continue our celebration. I want to feature some of these items to you, and then we're going to segue into our comedy and awe, and then we'll have our birthdays for July and say goodbye. But I'm going to have loads of fun things in the description. George Washington's vision of Our Lady that he had, and the prophecy there. I'm going to put a link there to that. And much of America is immigrants, other than our indigenous friends, the American Indians. And so we are going to honor them in this show as well. And let's start off there. I have this painting of the American Eagle, but this painting is by Plunkett, and I find it so vibrant, and it's in a lovely wood frame. And she also did this piece right next to it. Miss Plunkett did this reproduction of The Poppy by George O'Keeffe. She did a terrific job. It's so like it. And that's available. Please remember, anything you see, message me at IamNancyShow@gmail.com, and we'll connect you with it, and we'll talk about price and how to get it to you. That's available. I also have, to the other side, I have this lovely little metal rendition of the flag. And I have, speaking of the American Indians and the indigenous people, I have a little doll here of an American Indian girl. She makes me think of Saint Kateri Tekakwitha, one of the first indigenous saints from the Mohawks and Algonquin tribes. And she is one of our top saints for July 14th. And we just love her. And wouldn't that be a fun gift for a young child to play with and to remind her of becoming a great saint? Also, behind Saint Kateri Tekakwitha, I have a lovely mid-century modern lamp that's available, as well as a wrought iron Spanish galleon, which is fun and reminds me of the ships that we came over on. My family came over on a ship, and I've talked about that before, but yeah, we came over on the Dove, and so near and dear to our hearts are these ships. And also we're gonna turn back over here again, and I'm gonna bring these up closer, but we have many Asian Americans, and I'm going to put in the description. This month we had Chinese martyrs, and we had Japanese martyrs over in Nagasaki, and the apparition of Our Lady of Akita, which Father Pillari, Our Lady of Fatima, Rosary, Crusade, traveled over there, and I want you to listen to his relaying of these beautiful martyrs and the story of Our Lady of Akita. So isn't she lovely in her kimono? So white and modern. And then here's a more ornate figurine with flowers and just such elegance. So those are available. And I have a little silver vase, but isn't that fun? And that's available. And I have a little birdie here, a whistle, which would be fun for a child too. Carry around and whistle at the other birdie birds in the sky. I want to show you this vase. Isn't it lovely? And I'm going to tell you about these flowers. So we're going to segue into Comedy and Awe. These arrived today on my doorstep. And remember again, just message me at iamnancyshow@gmail.com, and we will set you up with any of these items that you see ever. If you ever see anything, maybe you like that pineapple back there. That's a trivet. Isn't that fun? You're welcome to just message me and we'll talk about it. Okay? And remember, the important thing, the wonderful thing is that at least 10% from any purchase or tip or donation to support the arts and support my channel so we can go about doing good is going to help the poor. And we're going to donate to those most in need from the proceeds. I have a lot of comedy and awe, mostly awe as usual, but some funny things, you know. I think awe is often funny, you know. Like today in the flowers. I'll tell you about them. I have to reference because there's so much. Okay, so I Am Nancy the Nature Girl discovered that there's a very fun parrot out there called the Nanday Parrot. So yeah, Nanday. Is that the parrot for I Am Nancy the Nature Girl or what? Yeah, it's bright green, like almost chartreuse. And it's this sweet little thing. And it's got my name in it. So check that out. I'll put a link below. I also saw 2 great big white fluffy dogs. And I thought, oh, that's unique, you know. So I'm going to put that in the description as well. So I don't know what they were, but you can make a guess, you know. Also, a mockingbird was playing around and diving right in front of my car, just like almost touched it, going after another birdie bird. So that was super fun. I was parked waiting for someone, and whoosh, right down in front of the windshield it went. Like, probably, you know, don't get too much closer. Got some babies nearby. What else? Oh, I saw a bird hopping in the grass, and then, yeah, it's like, boop, boop, in the grass, and then I saw it lift up and take off, and pretty sure it was a falcon, because it had these really bright yellow talons. And I looked that up, and we have here in Central Florida, we have the crested caracara, or the peregrine falcon. It was one of those 2. I'm sure of it. I saw a family of bully dogs, and you know, they're these short, fat, like little bulldogs, but shorter, and they look all ferocious and stuff, but they're so short, you know. They probably got a nice set of jowls on them, you know. You wouldn't want to mess with them. But they just looked like they were so tough, you know. And even more tough looking was their owner. They were all on a leash. There was like 4 of them. Owners were equally, you know, not very expressive and a serious face. Except for the young gentleman who was tagging him in the back. And I had been playing my harmonica, and I thought, I better stop playing. I don't want to, you know, half the time the animals really don't know what to think of it, and it can disturb them, you know. I just commented to them that, you know, I better stop so I don't bother them, and the young man was all smiles and, you know, acknowledged me, you know, and went on his way with his family of bully dogs in front of him. Gray and black and, you know, kind of brown and, you know, all tough. So I'll put the link to what those are in the description as well. Oh, I saw the movie Toy Story 5, and I think it should be a required movie for every adult and every child of the age of reason that would perhaps have a phone in their hand or a tablet or something like that, because it really shows how these pieces of technology can tear us apart and take us away from one another. And I believe that I might do an experiment that if you want to get a hold of me for a month or so, you're going to have to call me and hear my voice, because I want to hear your voice. I think we all have a hunger to hear the human voice and to see the human face and not have it be on some video, you know. Oh, what else? Okay, the flowers. I received a bouquet of flowers today. It was so opportune because I had forgotten I was preparing my show. And I had forgotten fresh flowers. I always like to have fresh flowers. And yesterday I went to the store and I got this and that, and I was kind of in a hurry because it's towards the end of the day and I wanted to get home before dark, and I forgot the flowers. And so, knock, 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 and on my doorstep is this bouquet of beautiful red carnations on their long green stems, and I put it in my sort of oriental black and white vase so it looks all Christmassy. And we're celebrating Christmas in July. All you December babies, we're going to have half birthdays for you, right? And so, what a delight, you know, and from a dear friend. And I couldn't stop to talk because I had to get this ready, but I'm going to reconnect and we're going to have a fun chat, catch up. Make sure you catch up with people, you know. Give them a call on the phone. Let them hear your beautiful voice, you know. Because a lot of times, too, I'm realizing, texting, it could go so many different ways, you know. You really don't hear the flexion in the voice, so it can be very flat. There's all kinds of questions sometimes with text, and you know, why are you just saying that? Or, you know, why haven't you replied, you know? Or, why did you reply like that? And so, you know, and you know me, I'm a word lover. I love to write. I love texts, except I'd much rather hear your beautiful voice. So, give me a call if you've got my number. You've got my email, so we can connect and talk on the phone. IamNancyShow@gmail.com. All right, what else? Oh, there's so much. I saw a live otter coming out of the ditch in the side of the road. He saw my car, and once it saw my car, it stopped and it turned around and went back in the water. I was so happy, you know. I really slowed down because I knew what it was and such, but I was just so happy that it decided to go the other way, because remember last show I saw 2 dead otters on the highway. It just breaks my heart. They're such beautiful creatures, you know. Yeah, I saw the biggest hog I've ever seen in my entire life, and it had its nose in something or other, but yeah, its back was up like big. It was tall. Maybe it was more like 3-something feet, but it was the biggest hog I'd ever seen. And we have these wild boar down here, and I love to see the little piglets with them, but this was just a loner, and enjoying his lunch or something. Okay, and what else? I saw some vultures just resting and nesting to the side of a wildlife drive, and I saw a black chicken, like a rooster, near there in the wildlife refuge. I've never seen that before. I'm like, where'd you come from? It was kind of sort of towards the entrance, so maybe it came from a local farm or something, but yeah, a chicken in the wildlife refuge. I think I saw a little dead bobcat kitten. That was heartbreaking. Very small, looked like a kitty in the wildlife refuge. I saw a group of manatee, and I tried to capture them. So check out I Am Nancy the Nature Girl for some of these fun sightings. I also have been hearing a lot of hawks lately, and up on the wire, or just kind of checking down on the ground what's down below. Okay, vehicles, I've been seeing blue Corvettes, and started to count them. I saw a convertible, a white Corvette, and then I saw a fuchsia 3-wheeler, and 3 Corvettes in one day, 2 blue ones and 1 white one. I've been seeing a lot of antique cars and trucks. And it's that time of year we have our car shows down here in Florida. I just love it. It's so fun. I'm a car girl, you know that. I saw a red Corvette and oh yeah, the red, white, and blue Corvettes. So happy birthday, America. You know, and lots of the dealerships, that's their featured colors is red, white, and blue of whatever vehicle, and black, and yeah, all these different combinations of different shades of red and blue and white. So super fun. Oh, I saw something funny. I saw a white truck with a Sasquatch sticker holding a surfboard. That was too funny. Oh, and couples again are showing up, holding hands and arm in arm. And I just love that. So keep that up. That's beauteous. I've been seeing frigate birds that I've been forgetting to mention. And my initials as usual in the license plates and significant numbers. That's always happening. I don't know if it happens to you, but you know. N, K, H, and then I'll see Q for Queen, you know, and then my lucky numbers or something, you know, 88 or 18. Yeah, so that's been fun. Oh, lots of big butterflies. Check out I Am Nancy, the nature girl, and woodpeckers, and small sandhill crane families with their little babies. I mean, only a foot tall. It's really fun to see those big tall birds as babies. They're just tiny. What else? A bird get really close to me while I'm driving in my convertible, going over the bridge. Going over one of our rivers here. That was fun. I saw a huge young eagle, and it was on the ground picking away at something. And it was so much bigger than a vulture, you know, and then it had these intricate feathers and brown, so I knew it was an eagle. Last but not least, I saw a great billboard the other day. It says, "Get your head out of your apps. Save it for later. You are on the road." Yeah, so we can arrive alive, right? Stay alive. That's one of our quotes here in Florida. Arrive alive, stay alive, and be shining stars to the world. As Earth, Wind, and Fire Shining Star song. And I'll put that in the description too. And from Philippians, we have 2:14-15. Do all things without murmuring and hesitation, that you may be blameless and sincere children of God, without reproof, in the midst of a crooked and perverse generation, among whom you shine as lights in the world. Let's be shining stars, America. And let's segue out with our birthdays and another fun American song. Let's take our hair down for this one. Remember, keep it light. You lights of the world. Let's keep it light. Happy birthday! I have for you a biscotti covered in cream cheese dressing. Cream cheese icing dressing. I'm thinking Thanksgiving. And it reminds me of a little boat. The biscotti, a little canoe maybe, huh? Upside down. All right. Happy birthday. On the 1st of July, we have Camille and Jim. On the 2nd, Anne. 3rd, we have Bria and Christopher. On the 4th, Martha, Adele, Gail, Elizabeth, and Andrew. On the 5th, we have Martha and Anthony. On the 6th, Maria and Romulus. On the 7th, Sethrida, Mark and Felix. On the 8th, Candace and Stefan. On the 9th, Everilde and Kevin. On the 10th, Rufina and Secunda and Randall, Brian and Nicholas. On the 11th, we have Connie and Paige and Benedict. On the 12th, we have Veronica and Warren. On the 13th, Mildred and Henry. On the 14th, Dee Dee, Patricia, and David. On the 15th, we have Wendy, Chris, Bruce. On the 16th, we have Tori and Mark. On the 17th, we have Connie and Dave. And the 18th, Mimi and Pambo. On the 19th, we have Liz and William. The 20th, Judy and Joseph. The 21st, Julia and Lawrence. On the 22nd, we have Victoria, Maxine, and Ozzy. On the 23rd, we have BJ and John. The 24th, Christina, JC, Terry, Tom, Dan, and Jay. 25th, we have Tracy and Thea, Richard, Justin, and Damaris. The 26th, Janet and Clay. The 27th, Natalia and Theo. On the 28th, Julian, Greg, and Daniel. The 29th, Vicky and John. On the 30th, Natasha and Felix. The 31st, Julie, Lionel, Scott, William, and Carol. Happy birthday, July babies. Let's say a prayer and make a wish. Bye now. Happy birthday, America, and all you July babies. See you next time.